I'm going to talk to the people tonight. Great. I want you to hold Sir Oinceloth.
Sir Oinceloth? Wow, that's a big responsibility.
You hold my belt for me. Wow, this is a joyous occasion, and I have to say, with the cake and the streamers and the party hats, I think it's only fitting that I have something prepared to say. Look, bear with me. You know, since the beginning of time, since recorded history, there has always been one man. Just one. Every generation or two that has stood head and shoulders above the rest. You know, you think of names like Larry Bird, you think of Magic Johnson, Isaiah Thomas. Sure, they were great basketball players. Sure, individually they were all great. They just had the unfortunate pleasure of coming along at the same time as a young man from North Carolina. Nobody is going to remember years from now. They're not going to remember the 80s, they're not going to remember the 90s, and they're not going to remember their names. They're going to think of one name, and that's Michael Jordan. And just like that, when people look back at this era, they're not going to remember the Weatherman. They're not going to remember the big cat Mike Belden. Sure, they were great competitors, but they're all going to be lost in the shuffle. Because everyone's going to think of the legend killer, Jason Belden. Years from now, no one's going to think of...
mess with the L-word.
Nobody's ever going to think of LeBron James. They're not going to think of Triple H. They're not going to think of Peyton Manning throwing touchdown passes thousands of times a game. They're not going to think of George W. Bush crushing countries with his military might. They're not going to think of it. And they're definitely not going to remember the big cat Mike Belden rolling out in his diesel music and driving his big rig. And they're not going to remember his John Deere hat. They're not going to remember how ugly he is getting off of work. They're not going to remember that fat, no-talent weatherman coming out here and spitting mass quantities of water all over you. They're not going to remember how round he was. They're not going to remember his weather forecast. They're not even going to remember the sheer volume of Big Macs he could eat in one sitting. Well, they might remember that. That was a big number.
That's true.
But the point is this. When you think of this period in time, you're going to remember one thing. You're going to remember my face. You're going to remember my accomplishments. You see, I am the world heavyweight champion. I have done what no one can do. I have taken this shiny little piece of gold and leather and made it the most envious, the most wanted, the most prized piece of material in this planet. I have defended this belt in Japan, in Korea, in Mexico, in Kansas, in Iowa, and here in Dayton, Ohio.
That's true.
I have made it, I have taken it from the measly little Greenmont championship that it was when the Weatherman first had it, and I have made it the world title. Sorry, I'm getting a little worked up. You know, there were a lot of great champions in the world. I've already mentioned Triple H, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Bret the Hitman Hart, Steve Austin, The Rock, but none of those men on their best day could handle the legend killer. They couldn't handle my RKO. They couldn't handle my ring savvy. I'm just too smart for them. And because of that, I have made this belt better than any title in Japan, any title in Korea, any title on SmackDown. I have made it better than any title on Raw. It is the World Championship, and I am the World Champion. Get a shot of this guy right here. Get a shot of it. This man right here, he's a loser. I don't know him, but I know this. He is a loser. He doesn't have a lot going on for him. He doesn't have jobs. He doesn't have money. He doesn't especially have a woman, and he definitely doesn't have a man. But there's one thing. There's just one thing. There's nothing that he has got to look forward to except for one thing. The slight hope that years from now, he will fall into the backside of a woman who will then pop out a young boy, who will then stumble his loser ass into the backside of another woman and pop out grandchildren. Don't you laugh at me, you know it's true.
Show some respect.
She will pop out grandchildren who just might one day sit on his lap, and he'll get to tell them the story of this night. He will tell them years from now. He won't remember the bright lights. He won't remember the athletic competition he saw in this ring. He's not going to remember the best of the best golden blonde locks. He's not going to remember this fantastic shirt or Mark Turner's fabulous body. He's not going to remember the dance that you people just witnessed and loved. He's not going to remember all the noise or that wonderful cake that says, "Congrats, Legend Killer," with the 3 hearts on it. Years from now, if he gets the chance to have grandchildren and they're sitting on his lap, he'll get to tell them the story of the night that he saw the Legend Killer. Yes. That, my friend, is all he has to look forward to, and all the rest of you. I am the Legend Killer, and I am the World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes.
Boo!
Wow, that was nice.
Come on, I think, guys,
That was great.
I'm a little out of breath here from my fabulous speech. I think it's time for some cake. Let's go.
Hey, I need a hug after that.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
It's time for some cake, boys.
You want a big slice or?
I'm gonna need. How about the little heart there?
Oh, the little heart.
I'm gonna need that